This is your weekly IUP-TV news bulletin, broadcasted from the comfort of our own homes. My name is Jonathan Papadis.
And my name is Mackenzie Acker. We bring you stories that are relevant to IUP and the Indiana community. Let's begin with local news. Jimmy Stewart's personal airplane has found a new home atop a pedestal at the Indiana County Airport. The aircraft, a 1961 Cessna C-130, was found abandoned on an airfield in Texas. Texas local John Hearn conducted research on the aircraft to find the previous owner, who turned out to be movie star and Indiana local Jimmy Stewart. Arrangements were made to restore and return the aircraft to the Indiana County Airport by the local chapter of the Experimental Aircraft Association. A formal dedication to the aircraft was held this past Saturday.
The race for the 41st Senatorial District seat has begun as major party candidates Republican Joe Pittman and Democrat Tony DeLoretto will appear on the November 3rd general election ballot. Current seat holder Joe Pittman is seeking re-election after finishing out his predecessor Donald White's term due to his retirement. DeLoretto seeked the Democratic ticket in 2016, however, was not chosen, but has returned with the Democratic committee's full support.
NASA now plans to launch 4 astronauts to the International Space Station aboard a SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft on October 31st. The Halloween flight will mark the first operational use of the Dragon capsule following a successful piloted test flight earlier this summer. The crew will consist of Commander Michael Hopkins, pilot Victor Glover, Shannon Walker, and Japanese astronaut Soichi Noguchi. The launch will occur at the Kennedy Space Center atop a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket at 2:40 a.m. on October 31st.
The California wildfires have begun to spread north, threatening a large portion of the state's prized winemaking regions. Speaking at a news conference Monday afternoon, Governor Gavin Newsom said that the fast-moving Glass Fire in Napa County and the Zog Fire in Shasta County are top priorities. Both fires erupted Sunday, and their cause is under investigation.
Heroes come in many shapes and sizes, and that can certainly be said about Magawa, a Tanzanian giant pouch rat who was honored last Friday for his work in finding landmines in Cambodia. Magawa has cleared more than 1.5 million square feet of minefields in the past 4 years. He is being honored by the UK charity The People's Dispensary for Sick Animals, which is a leading veterinary charity. Many rats like Magawa are trained to sniff out landmines, which have been a major issue in the rural parts of Cambodia as a result of past global conflicts. Magawa's handler says that these rats have freed more than 1 million people from the terror of living around landmines, and that the problem could be solved in the next 5 to 10 years.
A maritime border dispute has erupted between Greece and Turkey in the eastern Mediterranean Sea. Both nations claim exploration rights and have sent research vessels into the region as escorted by warships, drastically escalating tensions. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said Monday that Washington will use its diplomatic and military influence in the region to try to ease tensions between the two NATO allies.
When I was freshman at IUP, I think I got kicked off the air multiple times on our local IUP-TV station. You learn from every little mistake, and some great professors along the way be like, let me show you how to do it. If you have an idea and you have the drive and the passion and the and the time, you can make it happen. So right now I'm a producer at Fox Sports West, where we do a lot of live sports productions, and we work with teams like the LA Kings, the LA Dodgers, the Clippers, all the big LA markets, Anaheim Ducks. And we do a live pre- and post-game show before and after every game. IUP absolutely prepared me for my career right out of the gate. I was 22 years old, I was in New York City, and I was at HBO, and I was like, how did I get here? IUP. And it wasn't one specific professor or one specific class per se, but it was this all-encompassing experience that I had at IUP that I was ready to go. It's a good college experience, like across the board. Yeah, I had my fun, but I got my work done too, and I like spending time in the basement of Davis Hall and just and making TV shows with fellow students who had the same passion, the same kind of hopes, dreams, desires that we all had there at the time.
Not many students might know that there is a fine dining restaurant here on IUP's campus. The Department of Hospitality Management has reopened their practice restaurant, Allenwood, for dinner on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Our reporter, Taylor Jones, tells us a little more about the restaurant.
Deciding whether to eat at Thai, Italian, or Mediterranean? There are several restaurants in Indiana to dine at, but there is one you have probably never heard of, ran entirely by students. Located on the ground floor and managed by students in the Hospitality and Nutrition Department, the Allenwood serves guests on Tuesdays through Fridays, serving lunch and dinner.
It's not your typical classroom setting. We're running a restaurant 4 days a week for lunch, so the students have the opportunity, and I had the opportunity when I was in this class to develop a menu, cost it, work as a team, work in the front of the house as a server, a cashier, a host, to the back of the house doing every single position, from working the hotline to baking, prepping, and even being the dishwasher for a day. So it really gives you a rounded experience to kind of find your comfort zone too.
Chef Joshua Truitt is leading students to prepare daily lunch. Having almost a decade working in different restaurants and hotels in the Indiana area, the IUP alumnus decided to return to mentor students for this exciting experience.
We involve them because it gives them exposure too. A lot of them have never worked in a food service establishment. So they're in this program and they're learning in the classroom. They're learning all the background information and all the book skills. But when we involve them into this, they get that face-to-face interaction. They learn how to interact with the guests, how to work as a team in the back of the house, how to become a cohesive unit and get things finished and done, and further their career, really. It's a good place to start. And so when they get out and they get that first job, they're ready to step right in from day one.
Students who take this class not only learn how to cook, but also bartend, cashier, and wait tables. This is a real hands-on learning experience in food production and handling procedures. Kelly Glennon is a senior in nutrition, and her goal is to be a dietitian.
This class will help me in my future career by giving me a culinary background that I didn't have before this class, because I want to be a dietitian, so we work with food every day, and this class teaches us just like basic information like how to cut things the proper way and how to make different types of foods I would never have known before taking this class.
Another senior, Zach King, described other experiences offered in the class.
This class helps learn the ins and outs of the restaurant business, both front of the house and back of the house, which is useful because a lot of people don't seem to work both, but working every single job at least once really helps.
For the last 60 years, the Allenwood has operated to not only offer the students the ability to manage the complexities of food and customer service, but to also provide different food options for the IUP community. To make the class and service continuous, the Allenwood has also been supported by generous funding generated through the website. The class is also open for customers' input on the menu.
Students were involved in every menu up to this point. This current week, the Native American menu, we partnered with the Native American Awareness Council on campus and developed this menu with them in partnership with that for Native American Awareness Month. Next week, we're back to the student-made menus where it's a Thanksgiving menu. So every week we have a new menu, and part of the class is to break off into a group. Each class researches a menu, they pick the recipes, they cost them, they convert them, and they build the entire menu, and we execute it every week. We have a new menu that the students have made.
By dining at the Allenwood, you're supporting the students and aiding them to become the professionals of tomorrow. This is Taylor Jones reporting for IUP-TV News.
The students of the live sports production class, COM 360, were recently nominated for an Emmy last fall for excellence in college sports broadcasting. I spoke with two of the crew members who were taking the class when the nominations were announced. Here is the story.
IUP athletics are a big deal for both students and locals, with football being the most anticipated. Nothing beats a good football game on a cool fall afternoon surrounded by cheering fans. For those who can't make it to the games, no worries. COM 360 is the live sports production class that films IUP football and basketball games. Students learn to work in a live production setting doing tasks such as camera operation, audio, directing, commentary, and sports reporting. Last fall, the Mid-Atlantic chapter of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences nominated the IUP class for a College Production Award in the category of Student Live Sports Production. Regardless to say, the students were thrilled.
I don't know, but I saw like on Snapchat people's reactions. They were like screaming, like shaking the camera. And when I found out, I ran out of my room to tell my mom. I was like screaming. And like one of our family friends was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Oh my God. I was like, we won an Emmy. It was like so exciting. I was so happy.
Everyone was super excited. I mean, I was just excited to be nominated for it. So it was definitely a big like mood lifter, I guess, for everyone in the class, especially how the class kind of got cut short in the spring. So that was nice for our crew to kind of get some recognition, especially when, not a lot of sports are going on. Well, at least at the time.
Com360 received a Crystal Pillar Award, which is given to those schools with winning entries. So what does this award mean to the students that participated in the class?
We showed up like every Saturday early or in the afternoon to set up and tear it down. And we really put like our heart and soul in this. So it was really nice to see that someone like on a high level was like recognizing like all our talent, even though we're just like college students taking this class to learn about how a sports production works and everything.
It goes without saying that the privilege of receiving a nomination for an Emmy and the Crystal Pillar Award proves the skill and professionalism of IUP students. Reporting for IUP-TV News, I'm Jonathan Papadis.
Going back to the subject of food, many still consider T-Rock Thai one of the best places to eat in Indiana. Our reporter Taylor Jones has the story.
Over 10,000 students attend Indiana University of Pennsylvania. With this amount of people, there's available restaurants in Indiana such as Mexican, Italian, Mediterranean, and Thai.
Personally, I wish that we had a bit more. I'm a little spoiled being from DC, and we have all these different options, but I'm actually a huge fan of the Thai restaurants here.
T-Rock Thai serves authentic Thai cuisine that focuses on pleasant components with a spicy edge. A typical Thai meal includes 4 main seasonings: salty, sweet, sour, and spicy, along with fresh vegetables, rice, and of course, noodles.
First time I opened here, no Thai restaurant, and I am very good cook chef in Thailand. And here I work another restaurant for 3 years in Pittsburgh, and I want to own Thai restaurant.
Her love for cooking brought Tui, the owner, all the way from Thailand. Prior to opening her restaurant, she owned a similar restaurant for 10 years. Thai food is internationally famous. According to the Tasting Table, the number of Thai restaurants in the U.S. has increased from roughly 2,000 to more than 5,000. One thing for sure, it adds benefits not only to students but also to the community.
I just think it's so important for a small town like this in western Pennsylvania to have foods and experience cultures from around the world. Those of us who live here, I think we really appreciate being able to eat food like this, and it really makes it a more interesting place to live.
There are at least 2 other Thai restaurants in the area. However, for Pat, the co-owner of the restaurant, pleasing the customers with quality food is more of a priority.
We will not compete to anyone. We competed with ourselves. Because the more good food you represent it to customer, the more quality you serve, the best service that you can give to customers, that's all we need. We don't compete to anyone, we just do what we have to do to make people happy.
After 7 years of having T-Rock Thai and moving to a closer location to campus, it can bring challenges sometimes, but the restaurant will expand to its new location in Johnstown very soon. This is Taylor Jones reporting for IUP-TV News.
Well, that's all the news we have for you this week. Don't forget to check out our Instagram and YouTube pages to catch up on episodes you might have missed. My name is Mackenzie Ocker.
And I'm Jonathan Papadis. Stay safe out there, IUP, and we'll see you next week.